good of all. I am you. You are me. And we are one. And so it is. Amen and amen. All right, so our topics for the month have had a little bit of a theme. So we started with currency, the currency of faith, a crimp in the hose, what's in your hand, and today, what are you doing with your talent? And this is from Matthew 25. And this is where Jesus is telling a parable about a master that's going to be going on to do some things. And he gives to his 3 servants talents. And to the first servant, and he gives it to them based on what he believes are their abilities. And to the first servant, he gives 5 talents to invest for him. To the second servant, he gives 2 talents to invest for him. To the third servant, he gives 1 talent. Now, I don't know what is a talent. I don't know. Is it like a gringo? I don't. Is it a bar of gold? Whatever it is, right? It's a denomination of something. And so the first servant goes, and he invests the 5 talents and doubles it. The second servant goes and invests the 2 talents and doubles it. The third servant is really afraid of losing the money, and he doesn't want his master mad at him, and he buries it. And then after a while, the master comes back and says, bring to me what you've done. And so the first one brings and says, you gave me 5, and I worked it, and I doubled it. And so basically he said that you are a good and faithful servant. You are worth many things, and I will give you more things to do. You will be ruler of other things and go and move forward in joy. To the second one, he said, you gave me 2 talents, and I doubled them. And he said the same thing, you're a good and faithful servant. You will be ruler of many things and go forward in joy. To the last servant, the servant says, I know you can be a hard man, and you don't sow where you've already sowed. You don't plow the field where you've already plowed it. And so, in fear, I buried it. So I have the 1 talent to give to you. And so the master was upset that he was not willing to invest, that he was too afraid. And, he called him a sloth. It was one of the words that was used. You're a sloth and unfaithful. And that in these talks, and it said to give that 1 talent to the one who had 10, to give that over to that one because that proved to be a faithful servant. And with the other one to outcast this out into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, which really sounds kind of like, okay, he's sending him to hell. He's punishing him. He's going to victimize this. That's not what this is talking about. So let's use our unity teachings in this, right? Is that we are given gifts on a regular basis. All right, talents. See the pun here? Currency of faith, and we talked about money, right? So we're giving many talents, and we don't bring them forward because we are afraid, because we don't have the faith to use them, because we are really afraid, well, what if, and I'm going to fall down, and everybody's going to make fun of me, and I'm going to be a laughing stock. What's going to happen? And so that fear is, and that casting them out. This is about casting out the fear and the whining and the clenching your teeth, in that fear. And I feel like with my thumb and a stint, I'm giving you the thumb when I talk. But So this is really, really important, because the first one, so why were there 5 talents given, right? And again, it was due to their, what the master thought that they could do. So it's like that person that received the 5 talents, he knew that they trust, and they're going to go and make those talents work, right? So there was no doubt that that one was going to do something. So why give 5 talents to the person he knows is afraid, and through this time hasn't listened to anything that's been said anyway because of the fear? And he buried them. But what do? We bury it. We can bury those talents. We can hold on. And even like from a money perspective, you know, it's like I had a friend, and she had a nickname called Squeaky because she was so thrifty. They say she could make a nickel squeak, and that's how she got it. But her family had nicknamed her that because she was so frugal and tried to get so much. But sometimes it's even we hoard our money, right? Or we hoard things in our house because we're afraid of letting them go, right? And so when we're holding all of this stuff, we are not creating room for more to come, but we're also not able to have room to express or to shine the talents that we have. And have any of you, I don't know, have you held on to stuff because it was a family heirloom, and you don't even know who the relative was? You just know that, well, that was my great-great-grandmother's, and my grandmother loved it, and if I get rid of it, I'm, turning my back on the family, right? So we hold it. We don't even like it. It's ugly. It's whatever, because we feel obligated, right? We're afraid of letting it go because I might get haunted by my great-grandmother, right? Or is it somebody's going to strike me dead? So we have to look at our life to see what are we holding on to that we're not using, that does not bring us joy. Can we move it and let it go? And if it belongs to somebody, well, then call another family member. And if everybody agrees that they don't want it and you think it might be of value, then sell it, split the proceeds, right? But whoever buys it is going to find value in that piece, even if they tear it apart, which was not in your plan of what they would do, right? But we have to start learning in our lives that we are each given abilities, right? That little voice that whispers inside of you and keeps telling you to do something, to try it, to move yourself forward. That's that steady voice of the divine. And we'll say, so in my Sunday video for Spiritually Centered, it's like we're asking God for a sign. That's the topic. So we want to do something, right? Now we're already being guided to do it, right? That was whispered into us and told us to do it, to move this forward, to do this, right? But we've got to go and have a meeting with our friends or our family, right? We have to keep that list and the pros and the cons list. We're doing, oh, well, God, you need to give me a sign. And so sometimes you're like, well, I'm not getting a sign, so I can't move forward. But the sign might be that voice is not being quiet, that voice that keeps saying, I've told you what to do. This is what you need to do. And so like in my case, sometimes I keep hearing, just let it go. Yeah, but I'm not ready to let it go. I'm going to let it go. And I'll tell you a story of how something that happened in the last couple of weeks. Is that I got a letter from the insurance company that they weren't going to cover a prescription, and that, my doctor had to come up with a new solution. So I called the doctor's office and said, they're not going to cover whatever. And then they said, okay, well, we'll get back to you and let you know. Well, after a couple of weeks, nobody got back. I left messages. So I made an appointment to go into the doctor because nobody had called me back. So, they must not be doing their job. I don't know. Because I'm all like, what are we going to do about this? And so the doctor says, well, it looks like, we'll send it in again, and we'll, this is good for you, and I don't think it'll be a problem, and, we'll get back to you, or the pharmacy will get back to you. It'll be okay. Then the pharmacy's asking me if I want to, get that automated. You want to refill your prescription? Well, I don't know. I don't want to have to pay $1,500 afterwards because the insurance billed me because they're not covering it. So I'm like in this, so I call the pharmacy and I'm like, well, when was this approved? And they're going, I don't know, but it's approved and this is how much your prescription's going to be. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I just can't do it now. I'm driving Mr. Wonderful here crazy with my stuff, but it's like I'm chewing on it, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm taking care of it. So I'm just going to call the insurance company. I'm thinking I'm going to be held for 3 hours, on hold. And I immediately get a person, and, after the prompts. And so I tell them, oh, no, we approved it. It's all good. You can go get it. And it's approved till the end of the year. And this is what your doctor already knows to do, so it can go for next year. It's already done. But in that was all of a sudden this internal laughter. And what I heard was, see, you get so caught up in worrying about these things that you're not enjoying anything. But maybe that's where I had to go to listen, right? Maybe that was the place that I went. But when I was like, okay, I didn't need to worry about it. Nothing's happening because I don't need to worry about it. But that's where we go. Am I making sense? That's where we will go. We will hold on to those things instead of just, is that your concern today? Just go and do what makes you happy. Do life, live life with enjoyment, living in and embracing your talents. And your talents may have to do with work you do. They may have nothing to do with work you do, but are you using them? And are you embracing, even if it's just for yourself, are you using them? Because as you use them, you're trusting in here. You're doing what you're supposed to do. And that is going to take you to the next step. But the more that you listen and the more that you trust, the more that unfolds. But it's that investing in this. And so another funny story was that I thought this would be a really great thing is that, and I learned it from another minister, so I won't take credit for that, but is that I'm going to bring money with me today. That was my thought. And I'm going to go and get $3 for each person that wants to participate, to have them go and invest it in something that they love, in a talent, and to bring the proceeds back to the church in a month. And I thought that sounds like a really good idea. And then as I'm talking about getting it ready and going and doing, and the process of doing it, what I'm hearing is, don't do that. And I'm like, but it's a good idea. Yeah, but don't do that. Okay. And then I'm like, finally, I said, why not do that? And so the why was already after I'm in the car driving on the way here, so that wasn't going to happen. But it's like, because it's not their investment, it's your investment. You're investing in them to see if they will invest in themselves. They need to make the investments in themselves on their own. Are you following me? So I'm not telling you, but, we are doing, so I do have another money class that has been ongoing for over a year. And it's like a little private group because they've got a momentum. So we all decided that we were going to invest $3 for a month to see what the returns would be so that we can share with that. So where I'm going with that is, so just pretend you had this $3. You go, well, I can't do anything with $3. What can I do with $3? Well, maybe you already have the supplies in hand, but maybe you can buy cake mix and then you take it and you sell the cake, right? Maybe my first thing is crafts, craft supplies, so do something. And so it's allowing yourself to see that your talent is worthy of investment and the returns. And I keep seeing somebody's getting eyed here, like if they feel like I'm spanking them. It's not, it's reaffirming. But it's like, but are we willing to, so think about it. Would you be willing to invest $3 in a talent that you have to see how that investment pays out? But not even with the $3. Are you willing to invest in your talent to see how it comes out, to see how it pays itself out and forward into the movement. Or are you burying your talent? What are you doing with it? Are you keeping it or are you burying it? Right? Because we keep it here because it's safe. But we're miserable. Right? We're miserable because this is what we're supposed to do. And we build an identity. Sometimes it's not even around our talents. Sometimes it's around other things that we've done. Like, so I can only go from a girl's perspective, right? Being a wife, being a mother, whatever those things are, those sometimes we build our identities, or it could be a job that we have. We build those identities around that, and we can't, that's how people know us. And if I switch that, it's like, well, they knew me for the apple lady, and now I'm talking about grapefruits. They're not, who wants grapefruits? They're sour, they're bitter, they're harder to move around. Who wants to do that? But it's learning to trust, and it's bringing out that. And so this whole month, so we had the current currency of faith. So are we having the faith move in that energetic current? The crimp and the hose. And didn't you like that about like the truck pulling through, trying to get to all the gates and stuff, and we get there and we're not even home, and but the U-Haul is there, or the big truck is there to give us all of those desires. Because the universe, when we desire something, has already planned for us to have it. And we get the desire because Spirit gave it to us, so it wanted us to be that expression. It wasn't random that it just hit you. Spirit gave it to you to use, to move it forward. So it's again, so the crimp and the hose, and that's what's in your hand, the staff, right? And that's what he gave Moses, right? The staff, and to use that staff. Go out and use that staff to guide your people. So use what's in your hand. And are you making use of your talent? And are you willing to invest in that energy, that talent? Are you willing to invest that with faith instead of the fear that's keeping you, I'd really like to do it one day, but I can't. And I can't give it up because I might not be able to pay the phone bill if I do it. I might not be. Well, if Spirit's giving us something, Spirit is saying, I've got you. I've got you. And to cast out the shadow of the fear and the whining and the gritting of the teeth about that indecision. And there's going to be fear because you haven't been there before. But the faith can be stronger than the fear of allowing our faith to move us forward with what we are being told and guided to do. Because we are those divine expressions. Invest in your talents. You don't have to hoard them. You don't have to keep them buried inside. And, they're not, as they're buried there, they're not growing or doubling in size or being enriched. And it's again, let the things go that don't matter to you. Clear your space, clear your energy of things that you have or that you're hoarding because you might need them. Am I using it? Yes, no. Am I going to? Well, then I'm going to need to use it right now. I need to start moving that energy. Move everything in your life in that faith that you are circulating. Not money, but life. Circulating your life into that enjoyment, into that place to be the co-creator that you are. And until next time, namaste.